Thank you, Anne. That was terrific. My name's Karen Hall. I'm Robbie's oldest daughter. You never see me because my husband and I live in Michigan. And there's a short video, actually, that we filmed of our house in Michigan that my father came to a couple of times. So you'll see me again later on the video. So thanks so much for coming today to share memories of Robbie. I know there are a lot of people who could not be here today, so for them we are videotaping the event. So if you don't want to see yourself on camera, cover your face. One of the things that was central to my parents was their interest in family. You know, what were we doing? How were things going? Did we need help? They would always have time to sit and talk or discuss this on the phone or by letter. And interestingly, they both approached many of the problems we had by making a list. My mom's lists would have suggestions such as, well, first step in getting a British passport is to contact the British consulate office. Here's the telephone number, the address, times of opening, documents needed or a birth certificate, marriage certificate, etc. Dad's list would start with, what is the meaning of life? Why is the human condition about to be changed by your actions? Not maybe quite as practical, but certainly thought-provoking. He was always thinking of the big picture. Now, sometimes this turned a fairly simple task into a job of epic proportions, which is a phrase in our family that has a double meaning. But it was something that really made a difference when we were tackling difficult issues. I could always count on my father to get me to think outside the box, just as he did with so many people that he worked with, and I'm sure that many of you have had that same experience. This gift of help and advice and support could have died with their death. However, my father did something that we hope will ensure that it survives for many years. On the day of his death, we came back to Cornish Road, our family home, and we started going through his papers and telephoning people to tell them that he had died. The dining room table was covered, not with dishes for dinner, which would be the usual thing for a family gathering, but with laptops, iPads, smartphones. It looked more like a SAC headquarters or some sort of military command center than our dining room. Angus was pulling up lists of contacts. Caroline and Nicola were phoning. And then Caroline came up to the table and she said, that is the third person who has asked about sending flowers and donations. What should we say? Well, we knew my father didn't want a funeral, so flowers were out, and we had no idea what charities he might have supported. However, suddenly someone remembered seeing something on one of the papers that we had looked at that morning. And we pulled out a sheet that was written in my father's rather shaky handwriting, which was headed, "If I win the lottery." Underline. Below a bunch of bequests was a section on its own saying, establish the Enid Robbie Memorial Fund at OCAD to support students studying printmaking. We had absolutely no idea that he thought that. So we knew that we had found the means to continue their legacy of support. Within 2 days, Caroline had set up a fund. Angus had scanned pictures, some of which you'll see behind you on a board, many of which you've seen on this slideshow, and a website that linked to the OCAD donation site. And by the time we met on Saturday of the same week at the Queen Mother restaurant with some friends, the Enid and Robbie Memorial Fund was up and running and actually had donations coming in. We had found out that to establish a fund that can supply a bursary for a student in perpetuity, we would need about $27,000 capital. To date, nearly $7,000 has come in, meaning we are about a quarter of the way there. Thank you to those who have contributed so much for contributing, and we hope that a lot of students will benefit over the years, if not from the Robbie advice, then at least from the Robbie support. Now, I would like to read a letter from the Governor General of Canada, who could not be here today, but sent his regards. This is a letter from David Johnston. It says, "Dear members of the family of Roderick Robbie," and I think we would include all of you in that, "my wife and I are deeply saddened to hear of your loss. Our country has lost a great Canadian in Roderick Robbie. He leaves an inspiring legacy of innovation and commitment to the field of architecture, I am sure that his iconic works will be enjoyed by Canadians for generations to come, and that he will be greatly missed by all those whose lives he touched. Please take comfort in knowing that all the members of the Order of Canada, an honor for which he was extraordinarily proud, join me in offering you our condolences. May good memories sustain you through this time. With deepest sympathy, David Johnson. And now I would like to turn the microphone over to my sister, Nicola Robbie.